So is overnight parking at Walmart dead? That's something we've been hearing a lot about since we've been off the road this last time. Now that we're back on, we wanted to test that theory because this is something that we do utilize. So we stayed at a Walmart last night and I will let you know how that went. Okay, so we're making our way to Northern Virginia and we've got about an 8-hour drive, which I like to drive about 4 hours max in a day. So we were looking for a place to break this trip in half. I called 3 different Walmarts that were on the All Stays app that said you were allowed to stay as part of the app. So in calling them, one said no immediately. One said yes, but there was an ordinance within the area that wouldn't allow it. So they said you could get a knock, but you're welcome to come and try. That was the manager I talked to at all 3 of these. And the last one, which was in Stratton, Virginia, told us come on in, won't have a problem, there's no ordinance, and they allow it. And when we get there, there's actually other RVs in the parking lot. So we feel pretty comfortable staying there for the night, which is what we did. We did get the whole night in, totally uninterrupted. Overall, it was a good stay. But the moral of this is don't trust the apps to always be correct. Be sure to go in and double check it yourself and make sure that you are good to go to stay where you're going to be at, because you definitely don't want to get that 3 a.m. in the morning knock saying you got to get out of Dodge. While we went there, I did speak to the manager of the 3rd one in Stratton that we got to stay at, and I asked him, I said, what are some of the things that you look at from RVers as they come into your Walmart and spend the night in your parking lot? And this is some of the feedback that I got that he said would start allowing other Walmarts to let people come back in, to the managers that are opposed to it at this point. And also just general good knowledge of things you would do at a campground or anywhere else. But basically it's just being respectful. But I'm going to go over a few of the things that he shared and hope that other people find this helpful. So the first thing he stated was to park away from the main store parking. So don't pull right up to the front of the store, or don't pull in the middle of the parking lot where a lot of the customers will be parking. Go either to the far left or go to the far right, or stay in the very back of the parking lot. But be sure to give their active daily customers the best parking up front and just stay out of their way. And he said that is one of the things that will always keep you from getting that knock. If you start blocking their everyday customers there, you're probably going to get asked to leave fairly quickly. And I fully understand that because they are trying to run a business. So the number 2 thing he told me was be sure to clean up all of your trash. You basically want to leave the Walmart parking lot just like you would a campground, and really leave it better than you found it. If you see other people's trash there, go ahead and pick it up and throw it away if it isn't something nasty. But as long as we keep leaving these places clean, we're helping keep their place clean. They're going to ask us to come back. But if we go in and we start really trashing the place, obviously they're not going to want us there. And again, I fully understand that because nobody wants their business trash that runs off other customers. Simple campground etiquette, and treat it like you're at a campground, in that fact that just leave it better than you found it. While you're there, and what you will see when I show you some footage of my RV, is only open up the slides that you need. Don't come in, set up your levelers, let everything out all forward like you're setting up for a week-long camping trip. You're only staying for a few hours over the night, so just come in, let out the slides that you need, say your bedroom slide, whatever the case may be, whatever you need to function for that night. Do what you got to do, keep it small, keep it simple, that way you're quick in and quick out of the morning. And that is one of the things that he really suggested. Don't make it look like you're treating it like a campground. Make it look like you are truly there for the night, and then you're going to be on your way. And another huge piece of advice is don't set up like it's a campground. Don't start pulling out your grill, your lawn chairs, all your camping equipment, setting your lights up around your awning. Again, you're only going to be there for one short night, so you really don't need to do all that stuff. I don't know why you would, but the guy did say that he had people do that, and because they did that, they felt like they were going to stay long term, and they did ask those people to leave. He said that is a huge problem, not to mention it also sets a bad precedent for the Walmart itself. They say it makes it look like it's trashy, like it's just a, basically a glorified campground, and they don't want to give that impression. They do want to give the impression that people are welcome to come in and spend the night, but also they want you to leave that next day, and be on your way after you've had your good night's rest. So take advantage while you're there. Go inside, do your shopping, buy some stuff, and support that local host that's letting you stay there. Think of it as kind of like a free harvest host site. You're going for the night, but definitely go support the venue that you're going to. I think that's very important. Don't just go there, pull up, and expect a total free night. And most of us shop at Walmart or get general items at Walmart. So go ahead and go pick it up while you're there. Show them that you are supporting them. And if you do get that 3 a.m. in the morning knock, you can maybe even throw up that receipt and say, hey, I did shop stop here, just so you know I am supporting you, and maybe that alters their decision to make you leave or not. So that's something else to think about. Support them while you're there, keep that receipt, show them that you're supporting them if they do come and ask, and you might get a little leeway. So one of the things too is try to keep your noise at a minimum. Don't come in and treat it like it's a party and start raising hell, because I guarantee you they're going to ask you to leave. I know we all look at people at Walmart a lot and we see some crazy stuff going on inside, but leave all the hell raising in there and not outside. You know, that just makes perfect sense. You can't be outside in a parking lot throwing a party, having a big get together, having a campfire going and everything else. You know, they are trying to run a business, so make as small of a footprint as possible. Keep your noise down. The least that they know you're there, the better off you're going to be, and the less interrupted your stay is probably going to be. And here's a tip that he brought up that I thought was very interesting, coming from the Walmart manager. But he said, don't crowd the other RVs that are in the parking lot. You know, he said basically at night, because they are closing now at 11 p.m. for most of Walmarts across the country, the parking lot is fairly empty, and they do have a lot of unused areas even during operating hours. So they said, you know, give each RV space, spread out, don't crowd your neighbor, and that just makes it look better. It does help them. It makes their parking lot look a little bit fuller in those dead areas, so it helps draw in business, which is actually an old tactic I used to use back when I was managing restaurants, so I know that worked. But also, you know, just respect your neighbors, and you know, it's just like being out boondocking. You know, you don't want to pull right up on somebody and invade their space. So definitely give everybody room, try to spread out as much as possible without impacting the customer parking. And a big one is, don't show up and then start, if you're in a fifth wheel or a travel trailer, unhook your truck, leave your RV parked there, take off for 4 or 5 hours, go sightseeing or something like that. Or if you're in a Class A, don't be unhooking your tow hitch or your tow dolly and leaving your Class A there, taking off for 4 or 5 hours. It's not a place to go sightsee. It's a place to pull in late at night, take a break, get a rest without having to pay for a campground, get up the next morning, move on to the next spot. It is definitely not set up to be a campground. And the guy did say this is one of the problems that they do have a lot. And he also said that if they do catch somebody totally deserting their RV for hours on end and leaving it, that they will probably get them towed, just because that's not what they want. You know, they want you to be there. They want you to be in your RV, setting it up, whatever. You know, they don't care if you go grab a bite to eat or something like that, or you're inside shopping, but don't unhook and be there for hours and then come back and hook back up, you know, and act like you're at a campground unhooking and hooking up. You know, he said that's not cool and that's not a way to be. So, and I highly agree with that. You know, it's not set up for you to go sightseeing. It's set up for you as a place to rest. So the big thing is, just don't be that camper that ruins it for everybody else. When you go to Walmart or any of these places, Cabela's, any of them that you can go spend the night at, Bass Pro Shops, respect the places, clean it up, keep it quiet, leave things better than you found it, and just have a good night's sleep and get out of Dodge. That's the best way to keep all this stuff going for us all going forward, because we all know we love free camping.